Hello again, YouTube. This is Truth Man giving you the truth. And on this broadcast, I'm talking about alphas, alpharism, being an alpha, how an alpha thinks, what makes a man an alpha, so on and so forth. Now, y'all know, normally I need notes for this type of stuff, but not for this, because I know what makes a man an alpha and what doesn't. So I was talking to my son today, because as usual, sometime when I get up early, the Most High can interject his wisdom into me. And it's like most of this I already knew what an alpha was, but a lot of it I learned from the scripture. And this is why I talk about the God game. And in the future, I'm going to show you basically how people mess each other up. And I'm going to go into all types of things, demonology, all this. And hopefully it won't get censored like previous videos have been censored of mine. If you think the algorithm alone decides impressions, so on and so forth, then you haven't been paying attention. I can give you this example. VCY America is a Christian television network here in Milwaukee, but they have a large following all through the state of Wisconsin. If you look at their views, one thing is clear, that someone is manipulating the output. So don't get all off into this, the algorithm this, algorithm that. It does play a part, but here's how you, and I'm gonna do a video on this because I don't want to spend time. It's gonna be like I'm gonna go into details. But on this one, we're talking about being an alpha. So alphas, the Bible says that the Most High said, I am the Omega. It says, I am the Alpha, I am the Omega, the beginning and the end. See, that's what an alpha is. An alpha is the beginning, an alpha is the end. Alphas don't start fights, they finish them. Beta males start fights. And if you want to know why the murder rate is going up in all these cities, it's because these guys are beta males. Let me give you an example. I was driving maybe a couple weeks back. I didn't even do anything. Just like yesterday, somebody threw something at my car, hit my car. I didn't do nothing. But alphas don't start fights, they finish them. That's the first thing I want to let you know. They don't start fights, they finish them. Like the Most High didn't start the fight with the serpent, but he's going to finish the fight with the serpent. So that's the main thing. You seeing people starting fights, they're not an alpha. They're not alpha. Alphas provide leadership. And a leader doesn't start fights. A leader finishes them. So I'm driving, and I stopped. The arrow was red. I stopped. I'm looking at my phone. Some guy I don't even know pulls up, blowing his horn, because he was behind me at first. And I was turning, but he was driving too close. So when I veered off to the other lane, he pulled in the lane beside me, telling me to get off the phone, calling me. He called me. I looked up. I said, what? Because I didn't hear what he was saying. He called me a bitcha nigga. And I said, don't do that. That's all I said. I said it twice. I said, don't do that. Now, a beta, because I had weaponry on me. But his name calling didn't move me. You know, I worked in corrections. I have a correctional background. You know how many times I've been called the B word? And I can tell you firsthand, guys will call you the B word to try to elevate themselves, just in similar fashion as a woman calling you broke, saying you too short, saying you got a little wing ding. It's all to elevate themselves. So the next thing about alphas is you got to realize it is indeed a state of mind, but that's not all it is. Because you can get dragged off into emotion. But most beta males will say that the alpha male is too emotional because the alpha male many times has to stand on his square. And so the person that don't understand what alpharism consists of, they'll say that an alpha is too emotional. Alphas are not too emotional, but they do make decisions that people would call too emotional or would call emotional. Because an alpha would quit a job in a heartbeat. An alpha would divorce his wife. See, beta males, this is what betas do. Betas will stick to mess. I got to get to the gas station. A beta male will stick to mess because that's all they believe they're worth. That's all they believe they can get. But an alpha has confidence. See, and this confidence is within. It's not based on the externals. So betas will spend all of their time trying to bring an alpha off his square because they're intimidated by him. Usually an alpha is not going to have many friends. He has the personality that you would think he would have many friends, but because he's an alpha, he's not going to have many friends. He's going to have a hard time getting along with people because he's going to find out the difference between him and them. For example, without going in, well, I can't use that example on YouTube because all they're going to do is what they always do, shadow ban and censor. So he doesn't start fights, he finishes them. It is a state of mind, but that's not all it is. His confidence is not based on externals. I prove that to y'all every day. Some guys are like women. They have to primp in the mirror. Like when you're dealing with other betas, it's smart to make sure your outward appearance is up because beta males judge on outward appearance. Other alphas don't. Potential alphas don't. That's why, again, this channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. Even the name alone says it all. Alpha. No Matrix. No Simping. Alphas are not in the Matrix. They don't feel the need to fit in with others, although they may play the role, if need be, for a season to get what they want. Alphas are not going to excel in a 9-to-5. Why? Because alphas are creators. They create. So be careful when you get married. Be careful when you start dealing with other people in general, because they're going to interject their ideas. Oh man, you got to have a job though. Alphas are creators. Alphas, when they in their alpharism, they create opportunities that will create money. Alphas know how to lose. They know how to lose. They're competitive. When you beat them, they're going to keep coming back for more in some situations. Alphas going to have a hard time being led by women. So let's say you're an alpha and your manager, your CEO, or whatever is a woman. You deal with her directly, you'll have a hard time. You'll be It'll be easier for you to deal with her indirectly than directly. So that's another thing. Alphas usually bump heads with female leadership. Why? Because they know that God's established order, he said, what? Men shall have rule over you. It's obvious that this world doesn't follow God, so they change practically everything from what he established. But an alpha knows who the chief alpha is. And the alpha is going to base their philosophies off the chief alpha. So any guy that's saying he an alpha, but also saying he an atheist, you're not an alpha, man. There's not an alpha in the world that's an atheist. You're not an alpha. It's impossible. He's the alpha. The one who made us all be is the alpha, the chief alpha. So when you are not acting in ways that follow what he established, you're not being alpha. You're not being alpha. So, real backstory. The Garden of Eden. There was a tree in the middle of the Garden of Eden called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. People say, why was that tree there? I'll tell you why that tree was there. Because remember, the Most High was proud of Adam. What he created Adam, a replica of himself. So he expected Adam to alpha up on Eve. And Adam was supposed to treat Eve like she can be subtracted. He treated Eve like he needed her, and look what happened. She was put there to help him. He wasn't put there to help her. So if she had the desire to have God, be God, he was supposed to bump heads with that desire. That tree was supposed to sit there untouched with the fruit uneaten. He brought all the animals to him, told him to name them. Adam had dominance, was another thing. Alphas dominate. That's why an alpha shouldn't be in an environment that the opportunity is not there to dominate. Look at like jobs, for instance. When you go to a job, if you're an alpha, you're supposed to say to yourself, okay, why am I here? You have to focus on why you there. Because if you don't, you're going to quit the job prematurely sometimes, or you're going to stay there too long. The job is supposed to be for you to extract resources to create something down the line. Because if you're an alpha, you're not going to be able to exist there. It's going to be too much mess. People don't like alphas, man. The only people that like alphas are Sarah type people. Sarah from the Bible. People who are loyal and are going to submit, they tend to prefer alphas. And women can sense when you're an alpha. The Jezebel type women, they're going to bump heads with you. They're going to try to question or challenge your manhood. The Sarah type women, they're going to look you up and down. It ain't going to matter how your hair is. It ain't going to matter how your facial hair is. They know an alpha. And I'm going to tell you firsthand, women are attracted to alphas, man, old and young. So it's okay, you can really bamboozle people with a sharp external experience or appearance. People do it all the time. We see it all over YouTube. I ain't got to name names. Guys pretending to be alpha. I can look at them. Dude, you not an alpha. You not one of us. You not one of us. Everything in the alpha's appearance is because that's what he wants. An alpha is going to keep himself fresh and clean in his own sense, not what other people think is fresh and clean. They beat to their own drum. We beat to our own drum. So, example, it was just a debate on YouTube where You had the beta male dude, I think his name was XPC. You had the alpha male dude, which is not, he's not completely alpha, man. He has some alpha characteristics and he has some of the mindset, but I could ask him 5 questions and I'll know right away if he's an alpha. If he say he's an atheist, it's done. You're not an alpha. Because for you to be an alpha, you have to be like the alpha in some way, shape, or form, largely. Alphas don't try to take men's women because alphas don't like a woman that has another man. Because alphas know that their woman is supposed to be theirs and theirs alone. They don't want a woman that was with somebody else that might have feelings tied to them. So money does not necessarily make you an alpha, but it can be in many cases the end result, one of the end results of the creativity and the production of an alpha. Now, alphas just broke. But if they stay in their alpha lane, they're not going to be broke. They're not going to stay broke. That's the way it works. Alphas will lose things because of all the conflict sometimes that they have on jobs, in relationships. So they going to lose things. But an alpha is going to gain more things. See, everybody don't serve God. Even, listen, man, people is walking around here breathing his air and hate the very mentioning of anything concerning them. So we can backtrack a little bit. They don't start fights, they finish them. They create things, they're productive. They beat to their own drum. Their sense of style and freshness is whatever they decide for that day. They don't really care what people think, which is another thing. Alphas don't, if it's not benefiting them, if you ain't giving them something that they want, they don't care what you think. You'll hear me saying they, but I'm also referring to myself. And size is not a factor. Because if, let me tell you something, Mike Tyson, for a little while, was an alpha in some ways. He had alpha tendencies. That's how he was able, with his stature, to become an invincible heavyweight champion. He was alpha. Michael Jordan, I don't know what his beliefs about God was, but he had several alpha tendencies. Donald Trump has alpha tendencies. But again, you can have alpha tendencies, but not be an alpha, because the main thing with an alpha is they connected to the chief alpha. And you're going to bump heads with the chief alpha, and here's why. Because in some cases, you're going to expect him to rescue you, and he's going to be like, you alpha, you my little alpha, go do it yourself. And you got to learn that about him. And you spend a lot of time like the prophets. Sad, upset, so on and so forth. So, yeah. The creativity eventually produces some money. Who knows how much? It don't matter. It ain't going to change the fact. Alphas are leaders. That's one of the most important things you got to understand. They're leaders. To lead this world, how can you lead this world and you're not following the creator of this world? You don't have the blueprint. You're not a machinist for the creator. You're not trained by him. So how can you be fully alpha if you're not connected to God? Again, alphas are not atheists. You can't be an atheist and an alpha. If you're telling people you're an alpha and you're an atheist, you need to stop lying. It's impossible. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much you shave your head or get a haircut or how much you trim your mustache. If you're not connected to the chief, you're not an alpha. And another thing, alphas don't believe in manipulating women. Alphas dominate women, and if they can't dominate them, eventually that woman ain't gonna be around. Alphas see the world the way they're supposed to see it. Rarely ever will you find an alpha in the matrix. If he's in the matrix, he's gonna make his way out. He gonna make his way out. He ain't gonna try to follow the pack. Alphas are unique. Alphas are leaders, like I told you, and they're unique. They don't follow trends. They might like some trends, but they don't follow trends. They create them. See? So when you see somebody following a mass of unproven things, that's not an alpha. That thing, whatever it is, and the people who follow that thing are going to bump heads and have conflict with an alpha. You will never see an alpha. A true alpha will never be a Democrat. A true alpha either gonna stay away from the political process, not trusting nobody, or they gonna lean towards the one that represents their values more. And I had to explain this in detail to somebody last night. Because people would think, because if they think they more successful or have more money than you, they think that they should somehow be dictating to you and instructing you. It's not always the case. Let me tell you something that you need to understand in closing. The devil is the FBI, the devil, and whoever else is trying to brainwash you and get you to think a certain way, is going to fight against the alphas. Whether they shadow banning them on YouTube, censoring them, got their phone tapped. Because I know my phone tapped. Y'all, come on, man. Y'all ain't fooling nobody. I know my phone is tapped, man. So they're going to do these things in an attempt to to destroy the alpha. Because they don't want another leader to rise up. Especially if you're a black alpha. You're a black alpha, trust me, the FBI is watching. Because your posts on Facebook, Instagram, all of that, they're going to be able, oh yeah, we got to watch this guy right here. And that's why I don't like Facebook. I don't like Facebook. And most alphas won't. Because what happened to most alphas is they, on Facebook, you're not going to get a lot of likes. You may not get any. People are not going to respond to you, and don't take it personal. That's because of who you are. If your daddy is an alpha male, it's going to trickle down to you, whether you want it to or not. And the spirit is going to be on you, and people are going to do you the same way. They're going to shadow ban you. They're going to reject you. Oh, he's weird. He's different. Being weird and different is good. That's a good thing. So, you got to understand that, man. You have to understand. If you got to watch this video 1,000 times, do it. Because you will learn what an alpha male. Y'all know I normally have my notes. I don't need them for this one. This is easy work. It's not that many alpha males on YouTube. It's some masculine guys on YouTube. It's some intelligent guys. Some guys, their intelligence got them where they at. Their intelligence, not out being an alpha, but their intelligence got them where they at. I mean, it's a couple of alphas on YouTube. I listen to them, like one in particular. And sometimes an alpha needs to be sharpened by another alpha when he starts to be kind of drift off from what he is. So we can close. This is Truth Man Channel is the No Matrix. No being a beta thinking you're an alpha. No being an alpha trying to make it amongst betas. You're going to fight them all the time. It's going to be nothing but conflict. And it might become physical conflict. Stay away from these betas. If you're not in a position of power, limit your dealings with feminists, beta males. You can deal with